Be me, 24-year-old feminist dating boyfriend for 2 years living together now. I'm research assistant making 46K. He's mechanical engineer making 70K a year. Relationship is solid. We moved in together 6 months ago. Apartment, he has close group of friends from college, 4 guys. He's known forever. They hang out regularly, watch sports, play video games, typical guy stuff. Always been supportive of him, having friends and social life outside us. His friends are nice enough to me when we all hang out together, but I notice they say problematic things sometimes casually without thinking, make jokes that are sexist, or use language that excludes women often. Tell myself someone needs to educate them on these issues eventually. First time his friends come over to our apartment for game night. They're watching basketball, drinking beer, having good time together, laughing. One of them makes joke about player's wife being trophy. Wife comment. Feel compelled to speak up and explain why trophy wife is objectifying. They all go quiet and look uncomfortable. One guy apologizes awkwardly. Boyfriend gives me look like please don't, but I ignore it. Continue. Explain how women are reduced to objects for men's status and achievement. His friends nod politely, but clearly want to get back to game. They leave earlier than usual, saying they have early morning tomorrow lies. Boyfriend tells me, I made them uncomfortable, but I say good means learning. Week later, his friends come over for pizza and video games planned. They're playing some shooter game and making comments about female characters. One says the character has unrealistic body proportions for fighting armor. Agree with him, but then explain. It's because game's designed for male. Tell them about sexualization of women in gaming industry and statistics. They pause game and listen politely, but I can see they're annoyed. Keep talking for 20 minutes about representation and objectification in media. Boyfriend finally interrupts and suggests we order pizza. Now move on. His friends are quieter. Rest of night, less joking and laughing than usual. Leave around 10 p.m. saying they're tired, even though usually stay past midnight. 2 weeks later, they come over to watch football game on Sunday tradition. Bring beer and snacks, settle in to watch their team play together. During commercial, one of them mentions cheerleaders and how athletic they are. Take opportunity to discuss how cheerleading perpetuates objectification of women clearly. Explain that cheerleaders are paid almost nothing, while players make millions unfair. Talk about how it's performative femininity for male entertainment, exclusively really. They're all staring at TV, not responding to me, just ignoring lecture. Boyfriend asks me to come, help in kitchen. Pulls me aside quietly, tells me, please stop lecturing his friends every time they come over. Say someone needs to educate them on these issues. They're ignorant clearly. His best friend Jake stops coming over as frequently now, less often. Boyfriend mentions Jake said he feels like he's walking on eggshells here. Tell boyfriend that's what growth feels like, uncomfortable but necessary process. Boyfriend says Jake isn't growing, he's just avoiding coming to our place. Point out that if Jake can't handle being educated, then maybe friendship. Boyfriend gets upset and says Jake is his best friend since freshman year. Tell him best friends should challenge each other to be better people. He says challenging is fine, but lecturing every single visit is too much. Ask him if his friend's comfort is more important than the women's issues. He goes quiet and says he'll talk to Jake about coming over again. Month later, only 2 friends still coming over regularly down from 4. The other 2 have excuses every time boyfriend invites them over now. Boyfriend seems sad about it, but I tell him real friends would adapt. His friend Marcus comes over to help with car repair and garage. I bring them water and hear Marcus using term crazy ex-girlfriend story. Interrupt to explain how crazy is ableist language and dismisses women valid. Tell him that women are called crazy when they have legitimate emotions. Marcus looks at boyfriend like, help me out here, but boyfriend says nothing. Continue explaining for 10 minutes about gendered language and mental health. Marcus finishes car quickly and leaves, saying he has plans tonight suddenly. 2 months living together, and his friends barely come over anymore at all. Boyfriend invites them for game night, and they all have excuses can't make. Finally, one friend Dave agrees to come over for a few hours tomorrow night. Boyfriend seems excited and asks me, please just let them hang out tonight? Tell him I'm not going to censor myself in my own home for anyone. He says he's not asking me to censor, just maybe don't lecture tonight. Say if his friends say problematic things, I will absolutely address it. He looks defeated and says, Fine, just please try to let us have fun. Dave comes over and they're playing video games in living room together. Hear Dave make comment about game being easy mode for casuals playing. Walk into living room and explain how gatekeeping in gaming culture excludes people. Tell Dave that elitist attitudes about gaming skill perpetuate toxic masculinity environment. He puts down controller and says he was just joking about game. Say that jokes normalize exclusionary attitudes and create hostile environments for others. Spend 15 minutes explaining gaming culture problems while they sit silently listening. Dave says he should probably head out early, has work tomorrow morning. Leaves within 30 minutes of arriving, even though planned to stay late. Boyfriend is visibly upset after Dave leaves, tells me this is problem. Say the problem is his friends refuse to learn and grow from feedback. He says the problem is, I won't let them just exist without constant criticism. 3 months in, and his friends have stopped coming over entirely now completely. Boyfriend goes to their places to hang out, but they won't come here. Ask him why they won't come over, and he says, because of me. Obviously. Tell him if they can't handle being around Feminist, then that's their problem. He says it's not about being around Feminist, it's about constant lectures always. Mentions that I've lectured them on language behavior, media, consumption, attitudes, everything. Say that's what being ally looks like, speaking up when you see wrong. He says allies don't drive away everyone around them with non-stop criticism constantly. Ask if he's choosing his friends over supporting women's issues and me. He says he's choosing to maintain friendships that don't require walking on eggshells. Start noticing boyfriend is going out more often to see his friends elsewhere. He's at Jake's place or Marcus's place 3-4 times a week now. Feel hurt that he's choosing to spend time away from me with them. Confront him about it, and he says, because they can't come here anymore. Tell him they can come here anytime, as long as they're respectful of women. He says, your definition of respectful means silence or constant education only. Point out that if they were actually educated, they wouldn't need correction always. He says nobody wants to hang out with someone who corrects everything they say. Tell him that's because people are comfortable with their problematic behavior patterns, he says, or because people want to relax with friends without political lectures. 4 months in, and I barely see his friends anymore. Just boyfriend alone. Suggest we all go out to bar together so I can see them again. Boyfriend hesitates and says he's not sure that's a good idea right now. Ask why not, and he says, because last time at bar I lectured bartender. Remind him bartender made sexist joke about women drivers, and I addressed it. He says I addressed it by giving 20-minute lecture to entire bar area. Tell him, education is important, even in social settings, especially public spaces. He says his friends don't want to go out with us anymore because of scenes. Ask what scenes, and he lists 4 different times I've lectured in public. Tell him standing up for women isn't making scene, it's being activist ally. His friend Jake is getting married and boyfriend is in the wedding party. Ask if I'm invited to wedding, and boyfriend is quiet for too long. He finally says, Jake specifically requested I not come to wedding reception. Feels shocked and hurt that I'm being excluded from friend's wedding event. Boyfriend explains that Jake doesn't want anyone lecturing guests during celebration. Tell him that's ridiculous. I wouldn't lecture at someone's wedding ceremony, obviously. Boyfriend says you lectured at Jake's birthday party last month for 2 hours. Remind him Jake's friend made rape joke, and I had to educate everyone present. He says you turned birthday party into feminist seminar. Everyone left early upset. Tell him rape jokes aren't funny, and someone had to say something clearly. Realize I'm being excluded from boyfriend's entire social circle now, completely. His friends won't come to apartment, won't invite us places, won't include me. Boyfriend goes to events alone and comes home late smelling like bar alcohol. Ask him how his friends are doing, and he gives short answers, doesn't share. Realize he's keeping his social life completely separate from me, now divided. Confront him about it, and he says, because you've made it impossible to combine. Tell him I just want his friends to be better, more aware people. He says they're fine people who don't want constant lectures about everything always. Ask him if he even agrees with my feminist values anymore, questioning commitment. He says he agrees with values, but not with your methods of forcing them. 5 months in, and boyfriend tells me Jake uninvited him from wedding party. Apparently Jake said, either boyfriend keeps me away, or he's out of wedding. Boyfriend is devastated because Jake is his best friend since college days. Tell him Jake is being unreasonable and controlling about this whole situation. Boyfriend says, "No, you're being unreasonable by lecturing everyone every single time." Says Jake uninvited him because at engagement party, I lectured bride's family. Remind him bride's father made comment about traditional gender roles, and I responded. Boyfriend says you didn't respond. You gave 40-minute speech about patriarchy structure. Tells me bride's mother was crying and asking you to stop talking. Please, say if she was crying, it's because confronting truth is uncomfortable process. Boyfriend has to choose between going to wedding alone or not going. He chooses to go alone and Jake reluctantly agrees to let him attend. Tells me I'm not welcome anywhere near the wedding venue, at all banned, feel hurt and excluded. But tell myself I'm standing up for principles. Boyfriend goes to wedding without me and I spend day alone at home. See photos on social media of all his friends together, having fun celebrating. Boyfriend is in photos but looks sad and distant. Not really engaged, happy. Realize I'm the reason he's isolated from his closest friends, now separated. Comments on photos asking where I am, and boyfriend doesn't respond to them. Understand his friends all know I'm the problem that's keeping him away. After wedding, boyfriend is quiet and withdrawn for days, doesn't talk much. Finally tells me he needs to have serious conversation about our relationship. Says his best friend got married and he couldn't share it with anyone close. Explains that Jake told him he needs to choose between me and friendships. Tells me all his friends have said they can't be around me anymore. Says they've tried to be polite and patient, but I lecture them constantly. Mentions they've counted that I've lectured them over 60 times in 6 months. Tells me they feel like they can't say anything around me without correction. Asks me if I can see how this is a problem for him and relationships. Tell him his friends are just resistant to learning and growth. That's their issue. He says it's not their issue. It's our issue because he's losing everyone. Tells me he hasn't seen his friends at our place in 4 months now. Says he's tired of going out alone while I stay home, excluded from everything. Mentions he's become socially isolated because I drive everyone away consistently. Asks me if I can compromise and maybe not lecture his friends every time. Tell him I won't compromise on calling out sexism and problematic behavior ever. He asks if my principles are more important than his friendships and happiness. Tell him yes, because principles are about justice, not just personal comfort. He goes quiet for a long time, then says he can't do this anymore. Tells me he's choosing his friends and ending our relationship, now done. Week after breakup, his friends are coming over to help him move out. I'm at work during the move, so I don't have to see them. Come home and apartment is half empty. His stuff all gone, already moved. See photo on social media of all his friends helping him move out. They're all smiling and joking, clearly happy. He's leaving me finally free. Comments about how good it is to have him back and missed him. Realized they saw me as prison he needed to escape from entirely. His best friend Jake comments, "Welcome back, brother. We missed you badly. Understand that I isolated him from everyone who cared about him completely. Tell myself I was educating them, but really I was just alienating everyone." Month after breakup, see photos of him with his friends constantly together. They're having game nights, going to bars, attending sports events all together. He looks genuinely happy and relaxed in ways he didn't look with me. Realize he was stressed and miserable, trying to balance me and friends failing. His friend group is intact and thriving now that I'm not there lecturing. They post inside jokes and references, and he's laughing genuinely in photos. Meanwhile, I'm alone because I drove away his entire social circle systematically. Try to make new friends, but find myself wanting to educate them too. Realize I have pattern of lecturing people until they avoid me consistently. Talk to therapist about what happened, and she asks important questions me. Therapist asks why I felt need to educate his friends every single visit. Realize I saw every social gathering as opportunity to teach and correct. Understand that people don't want to be educated during casual hangouts, relaxing. Therapist points out that I turned every visit into classroom lecture environment. Asks if I considered that constant criticism makes people defensive, not open. Realize I thought I was helping, but really I was just being insufferable. Tell therapist his friends were saying problematic things, they needed correction. She asks if lecturing them 60 times in 6 months actually changed anything. Sit there unable to answer because obviously it didn't change, them just drove. Understand now that my approach pushed people away instead of educating them. 6 months later, see announcement. Boyfriend is dating one of Jake's friends. She seems nice and not particularly political, just normal person living life. See photos of her at game nights with all his friends fitting in. They're all comfortable around her, laughing and joking like they used to do. Realize she gives him what I couldn't, social life without constant judgment. She probably has feminist values too, but doesn't weaponize them constantly always. Notices his friends say problematic things, but picks her battles carefully, wisely. Meanwhile, I'm still alone at 25 because I can't stop lecturing people. Every social situation becomes educational opportunity, and people avoid me now. Learn that you can't lecture people into being better, just push away. Year later, and they're still together, getting serious now, moving in together. His friends all love her, and she's integrated into group perfectly seamlessly. See photos of her at wedding, with all of them celebrating Jake's anniversary. She looks happy and accepted in ways I never was with them. Realize she understood what I didn't, that friendships need space to breathe. She probably educates them too, but gently and occasionally, not constantly always. Meanwhile, I haven't been invited to social gathering in months, now excluded. People in my life have learned to keep me at distance to avoid lectures. Tell myself I was standing up for women, but really I was just controlling. Learned that constant education without relationship foundation is just alienation, really. Still call myself feminist, but realize I used it as weapon against others. Spent 6 months lecturing boyfriend's friends until they excluded me completely. Drove wedge between him and his closest friends from college days' lifelong bonds. Made him choose between me and friendships, and he chose friendships wisely. Now he's happy with woman who doesn't turn every hangout into political seminar, while I'm alone because nobody wants to spend time with constant lecturer. Tell myself I was educating, but really I was just exhausting everyone around. Learned that being right doesn't matter if your approach pushes everyone away. Principles that isolate you from human connection aren't principles, they're prison. Now I'm cautionary tale about how activism without empathy just drives people